Late at night, on a family trip with my parents and sister, my daughter suddenly clutched my arm, her voice shaking. "Mom, hide in the closet now." Confused, I slipped inside as she shut the doors. Seconds later, we heard the sound of our hotel room door unlocking. It was the middle of the night, deep into a family trip with my parents and sister. Suddenly my daughter, Olivia, grabbed my arm, her voice a terrified whisper. "Mom, hide in the closet. Now." Confused but trusting, I slipped inside the dark space as she quickly shut the doors. Moments later, the distinct click of our hotel room door unlocking echoed in the silence. Our destination, the Minnewaska Resort, nestled deep in the Adirondack Mountains, felt like a storybook castle. It transformed with the seasons, from vibrant summer greens to fiery autumn reds, then into a pristine winter white. The Saturday afternoon we arrived, the grand lobby windows offered a breathtaking tableau of majestic deer grazing in the distance. "Look, Mom," Olivia exclaimed, nose pressed to the glass. "Deer?" "Yes, honey, lots of wildlife here," I replied, a wave of relief washing over me. Seeing her pure delight reaffirmed my decision to book this trip. As a nurse with unpredictable shifts, including long nights, quality time with Olivia was a constant struggle. Balancing single parenthood and a demanding career often felt overwhelming. "Linda, leave your bags. The porter will handle them," my mother Martha instructed with an elegant sweep of her hand. She always exuded an air of effortless refinement, a mystery considering her humble upbringing in upstate New York. "Mom, I can manage," I insisted, trying to decline the service. A faint look of disappointment crossed her face. "Linda's right, Martha," my father, Thomas, interjected. A retired high school teacher. Dad favored practicality and simplicity, except, as Mom called them, special occasions. This trip apparently qualified. "Oh, Tom, this is special," Mom countered. "Our first family vacation in ages." Just then, my sister Amy returned from the front desk, exuding confidence in a sleek pantsuit. An investment analyst in New York, Amy always commanded attention. Perfect hair, sophisticated style, and an air of assured speech. "All set," she announced. I booked 2 rooms, a lake view for Linda and Olivia, and a suite for Mom, Dad, and me. "Amy, that's incredibly generous, but a suite?" I began. "It's fine," she dismissed with a casual wave. "We deserve to treat ourselves." Her annual income likely dwarfed mine threefold. Inside the elevator, Olivia nestled close to Amy. "Aunt Amy, what's New York like? Are there lots of tall buildings?" "Absolutely, Olivia. You should definitely come visit sometime. I'll show you all the sights." "Really? Mom, can I go?" Olivia's eyes shone. I smiled, nodding. "Of course, perhaps during summer vacation." When we finally reached our room, Olivia immediately launched herself onto the bed. "So fluffy," she squealed. The view from our window was stunning, the setting sun painting the lake a shimmering gold. "After you unpack, let's meet in the lobby around 6:30, then head to the restaurant," Mom suggested. Once we were alone, Olivia's voice grew small. "Couldn't Dad really come?" I stroked her hair, gently. "No, honey. He had a really important business trip, but he promised he'd join us next time." The truth was James's text had been terse. "Got work. Can't make it." We'd been separated for a year, in the middle of divorce mediation, maintaining a fragile pretense of friendliness for Olivia's sake. In reality, we barely exchanged words. "Come on," I said, forcing a smile. "Let's get ready. Grandma and everyone are waiting." In the lobby, my parents and Amy were already waiting, transformed. Mom wore a stunning dress, Dad a smart jacket, and Amy a chic, festive blouse. My simple dress suddenly felt inadequate. "Linda, didn't you get anything new for this trip?" Mom whispered, a hint of judgment in her tone. "This is fine, Mom." "Well, that's just like you," she sighed. At dinner, my parents launched into nostalgic tales of our childhood vacations, camping adventures, beach sunburns, cozy mountain cabins. The memories felt warm, almost comforting. Martha produced a blue sweater from her bag. "Olivia, Grandma made this for you. Wear it when it gets chilly." "Wow, thank you, Grandma." Olivia beamed. Dad, Thomas, leaned in conspiratorially. "There's a legend, Liv, that mountain spirits live around here. Sometimes, if you look out the window at night, You might even see their lights dancing across the lake. Olivia's eyes widened. Really? I want to see them. Dinner was lavish. Amy recounted her latest successes on Wall Street, our parents listening with undisguised pride. Last month, we landed a huge client, and the whole team got bonuses. That's wonderful, Amy. We're always so proud. Mom gushed, her voice thick with emotion. Dad chuckled. Our family's financial genius. Amy then turned to me. How are things as a nurse, Linda? Busy, I imagine. Yes, quite. The emergency department was especially short-staffed last month, which was challenging. But seeing patients recover gives me a profound sense of purpose. That sounds difficult, Mom remarked, her tone measured. But someone has to do that kind of work, I suppose. Dad quickly added, Linda's kindness and dedication make her perfectly suited for nursing. It was meant as a compliment, but I couldn't shake the feeling it was a subtle comparison. Another way of highlighting how unlike Amy I was. Olivia, oblivious, sat happily between her grandparents. Her joyous smile made my discomfort feel trivial. Later, exhausted from the long day, Olivia fell asleep almost immediately. Once she was settled, I stepped onto the balcony, gazing at the star-dusted sky. The mountain air was impossibly crisp, and the stars blazed brighter than any city sky could ever rival. Family gatherings should be enjoyable, yet I felt a familiar unease creeping in, a replay of the lifelong comparisons with my sister, the unspoken gulf between my parents' expectations and my reality. It's probably all in my head, I tried to tell myself. The morning sun streamed through the window, painting the room in golden light. Olivia was still fast asleep. I quietly slipped out of bed and onto the balcony. Through the morning mist, the lake's surface gleamed like polished glass. I inhaled deeply, filling my lungs with the clean, pine-scented air. This beautiful setting must surely create good memories, I willed myself to believe. At the breakfast buffet, my parents and Amy were already seated. Good morning, Linda. Did you sleep well? Dad asked, glancing up from his newspaper. Yes, very well. Olivia seems to be enjoying it too. Where is Olivia? Mom asked, looking around. She's getting dressed. She'll be down soon. Amy, meanwhile, was hunched over her smartphone, a faint frown creasing her brow as she frequently checked her screen. Important work. I ventured lightly. Yes, something like that, Amy replied curtly, her eyes already back on her phone. When Olivia finally appeared, her usual spark was gone. Her shoulders were slightly hunched, her greeting a quiet, "Good morning, Mom." "Good morning, honey. How are you feeling?" I asked, concerned. Nothing. Just a little tired. Mom placed orange juice in front of her. We're going hiking in the mountains today. The views will be spectacular. Olivia managed a faint smile, but it didn't reach her eyes. The excitement from yesterday had vanished. After breakfast, we joined the resort's guided hike. As we ascended a gentle slope, our guide pointed out local flora and fauna. Olivia, usually full of questions, walked silently. At a rest stop, Amy's phone rang. She immediately moved away, speaking in hushed, urgent tones. My parents seemed unfazed, enjoying the scenery, but I felt a flicker of unease. A business call, I reasoned. When Amy returned, her face was tense. Still important business? I prodded. Yes, something like that, she said, waving a dismissive hand. Don't worry. This forest is truly beautiful, isn't it? Throughout the hike, Amy took at least 3 more calls, each time stepping away. And each time she returned, I swore she exchanged quick, subtle glances with our parents. Was it my imagination? After lunch, Amy stood. I have a spa appointment. Linda, want to come? It was a perfunctory invitation. She was already half out the door. No, I'll stay with Mom and Dad. After she left, I mused. She's certainly busy, especially lately with all those calls. She's always got important work, Mom said proudly. I hear she's highly regarded on Wall Street. I sighed inwardly. Mom's words always held a thinly veiled adoration for Amy, a dynamic unchanged since childhood. Amy, the accomplished daughter. I, the ordinary one. Those roles felt immutable. That afternoon, my parents settled into the lobby with books. Olivia, too, had a book, reading quietly on a nearby sofa. Her subdued mood still concerned me. Are you having fun? I asked, joining her. She looked up, offering a fragile smile that didn't quite reach her eyes. Yes. Is something bothering you? No, nothing's wrong. She returned to her book. This story is interesting. That evening, we reconvened at the restaurant. Amy, back from the spa, was in an unusually buoyant mood. Everyone, I have good news, she announced, raising her wine glass. Tomorrow will be a very special day. Oh, how exciting! Dad exclaimed. Mom nodded. Yes, very special indeed. What's happening? I asked, genuinely puzzled. I knew of no special events planned. It's a surprise, Mom grinned. You'll find out tomorrow. The conversation that followed felt unnaturally cheerful. Amy spun entertaining work stories. My parents reminisced endlessly. Everyone laughed. But beneath my own forced smile, something deeply unsettling brewed. Olivia, meanwhile, barely touched her meal, eating in silence. As dessert plates were cleared, Dad announced, we have some adult matters to discuss. Linda, would you mind taking Olivia back to the room? What kind of discussion? I asked. I'd like to hear too. Just business talk. Mom interjected quickly. We're just asking Amy for investment advice. It would bore you. Amy chimed in. Besides, Olivia looks tired. My daughter did look tired, but there was something else in her eyes. A flicker of anxiety. All right. I conceded reluctantly. Good night, then. On the way back, Olivia whispered, Mom, are you okay? Yes, of course, honey. Why do you ask? Nothing, she mumbled softly. In the room, Olivia quickly changed into her pajamas and burrowed into bed. Usually, she'd demand a storybook, but tonight she simply said she was sleepy. After she drifted off, as I showered, an undeniable sense that something was wrong with my family gnawed at me. I couldn't quite put my finger on it. Was it just the natural estrangement of adulthood, or something more sinister? Amy's hushed calls, my parents' furtive glances, Olivia's unsettling behavior, it all hinted at an unspoken secret. When I emerged, Olivia was unexpectedly awake, staring out the window into the inky blackness. Olivia, you're still awake? She slowly turned, her face in the moonlight a mixture of fear and fierce resolve. Mom, something scary is happening. What happened? I sat beside her. I can't say, but she faltered. I want to protect Mom. Protect me from what? Olivia didn't answer, simply looking back out the window. Tomorrow, be careful. I hugged her trembling little body. Her words echoed in my head. I want to protect Mom. Protect me from what? Even after she finally fell asleep, I lay awake, staring at the ceiling. Outside, only the wind whispered and nocturnal animals called. Midnight passed, then 1 o'clock. Sleep refused to come. Instead, questions spiraled. Amy's suspicious calls, my parents' subtle glances, Olivia's sudden shift. It all felt like a grim premonition. I finally drifted off around 2 a.m., but my sleep was shallow. I woke to a small rustling sound. The clock showed 2:15 a.m. At first, I thought it was an echo from a dream, but then I heard it again. I sat up in bed, peering into the darkness. Moonlight filtered through the curtains, dimly illuminating the room. In that faint light, I saw Olivia getting out of her bed, moving quietly but fully awake. Olivia, I called softly. What's wrong? She froze momentarily, then slowly turned. Her face, even in the moonlight, showed unmistakable fear. Mom, her voice trembled. You're awake? Yes. I couldn't sleep. What about you? What's wrong? Olivia glanced toward the window, then quickly walked to my bed. Shoo, she whispered, putting a finger to her lips. Speak quietly. Her serious demeanor made me lower my voice, too. What happened? Olivia grabbed my arm, her small hand trembling violently. Mom, hide in the closet. Quick! She whispered in my ear. What? Why? I was completely bewildered. What's happening? Please don't ask questions. Her eyes were moist with tears. Hurry! Olivia, did something frighten you? Did someone threaten you? She shook her head. There's no time to explain. Please, Mom, trust me. The raw fear and pleading in my daughter's face silenced my questions. Something was happening. Her terror was real. Maternal instinct screamed at me to trust her. All right, I got out of bed, taking her hand. Let's hide together. No, Olivia said with surprising firmness. I'll be fine. Only you need to hide. But please, her eyes were dead serious. Trust me. Children's intuition, from my experience as a nurse, could sometimes be sharper than adults in a crisis. There was no time for logical thought. All right. I headed for the closet. Fortunately, this hotel room had a large walk-in closet, full of thick bathrobes and spare blankets. When I entered, Olivia closed the door. It wasn't complete darkness. Moonlight filtered slightly through the gap. Inside the closet, I listened intently. I heard Olivia's footsteps, then the soft creak of her bed. Silence fell over the room. Only the ticking of the clock marked the passage of time. I peered through the door gap. Olivia was in bed, covered with a blanket, seemingly trembling. She looked toward the window, then quickly closed her eyes, as if expecting something or someone to come. 1 minute, 2 minutes. Time crawled. Everything was quiet. Maybe Olivia had just had a nightmare, or perhaps it was fear, fueled by a child's imagination. Just as I was beginning to rationalize, suddenly, the lock on the room door clicked open. I held my breath, my heart pounding fiercely, my blood roaring in my ears. Someone was entering the room. Hotel staff wouldn't just walk in without notice, especially in the middle of the night. The door opened slowly, and the hallway lights spilled into the room. Then, 3 shadows slipped inside, Mother, Father, and Amy. They moved quietly like intruders. When the door closed, Amy said in a low voice, "Don't turn on the lights. The moonlight is enough." My heart pounded even harder. What was happening? Why were they sneaking into my room in the middle of the night? And how did Olivia know? Linda's asleep, right? Mother's voice was lower and colder than usual. Yes, Father responded in a whisper. According to plan. Plan? What plan? Amy stepped forward. She was holding something in her hand, reflecting in the moonlight. It had a metallic gleam. It looked like a syringe. Fear froze my body. Was this a nightmare? No, this was reality. My family was plotting something. Olivia's warning echoed in my head. I want to protect Mom. Amy approached Olivia's bed. "Olivia, are you awake?" she called in a gentle voice, one that held her usual friendliness. But the syringe in her hand revealed that kindness to be false. Olivia emerged from under the blanket. "I'm awake," her voice small and trembling. "Where's your mother?" Father asked, looking around the bed. "She's taking a shower," Olivia lied. There was fear in her voice, but it was steady. "A shower." Mother expressed disbelief. "At this hour?" "Mom woke up and said she wanted to take a shower," Olivia continued. "About 10 minutes ago." Mother looked toward the bathroom. "I don't hear any water running." "Maybe she's finished," Olivia added to her lie. "No lying," Mother said in a cold voice. "I know there's no one in the bathroom." Amy moved closer to Olivia. "If you don't tell us, I'll have to use this." She showed the syringe in her hand. It gleamed coldly in the moonlight. "Aunt Amy," Olivia's voice trembled. "Why?" "It's for your own good, Olivia." Amy's voice was sweet, yet spine-chillingly cold. "We don't intend to hurt anyone. Just make you sleep a little." "What are you going to do to Mom?" Anger mixed into Olivia's voice. She was clutching the blanket tightly. "You don't need to worry," Father said. "We just want to talk to her." "That's a lie," Olivia shouted. "I heard you yesterday. You all were planning to be quiet." Mother said harshly, "Enough. Where is Linda?" "In the closet." I was trembling with fear and anger. My family was threatening my daughter, and they were planning to do something to me. My heart constricted at Olivia's courage. Enough was enough. I flung open the closet door. "What are you doing?" The 3 turned around in surprise. Amy still held the syringe. "The plan is ruined, Linda." Mother's voice mixed surprise and anger, devoid of any warmth I'd ever known from her. A heavy silence spread through the room. In the moonlight, various emotions played across their faces. Anger on Mother's, confusion on Father's, and on Amy's face, a cold, calculating calmness. She still held the syringe. "Put it down!" I directed my gaze at Amy's hand. "That syringe!" "Linda, calm down," Father stepped forward. "This is for your own good." "My own good?" Anger welled up. "Threatening my daughter, sneaking in at midnight?" This is for my own good. Olivia jumped off the bed and ran to me. I embraced her as I faced the three. Explain, I said as calmly as possible. What plan? Why are you doing this? You don't need to know the details, Mother said. Amy, hurry. Amy, still holding the syringe, took a step closer. I instinctively shielded Olivia behind me. You know about James, don't you? Amy suddenly asked. What about James and our relationship? Confusion clouded my mind. What do you mean? Amy smirked. Your precious husband and I have been together for over a year. What are you saying? Words caught in my throat. Hard to believe. Amy's tone was provocative, but it's true. James was attracted to me from the start. He said, marrying you was just a mistake. My head spun. James and I had indeed grown apart. We'd been separated for a year, but hadn't finalized the divorce. I thought that was for Olivia's sake. That's a lie, I said with a trembling voice. It's not a lie, Mother interjected. Amy and James are a perfect match. Amy is more suitable for him than you. Those words cut through my heart like a knife. My own mother knew about my sister's affair with my husband. Not only knew, but supported it. Dad, did you know too? Father averted his eyes slightly, then nodded. James is a good man. He understands family business. He and Amy would make a promising couple. Everything started to connect. This family vacation, the unnatural attitudes of my parents and Amy, the secret conversations, and this syringe. It's a simple plan, Amy laughed cruelly. While you're sleeping, inject you with a sleeping drug, then early tomorrow morning, pretending to go hiking, you were planning to push me off a cliff. I finished, my voice trembling, making it look like an accident. You're smart, Amy said sarcastically, but your cleverness ends tonight. Why? I was speechless at this unbelievable reality. Why try to kill me? Custody of Olivia, Mother stated. James wants custody of Olivia. But as long as you're alive, if he fights in court, it would be difficult for him to get full custody. And if James and I get married, Amy continued, we can raise her. You're just in the way. Horror and anger mixed together. They were trying to take my life, to take my daughter. Is money involved too? I asked, feigning calmness while gradually moving toward the emergency button. Ah, that's part of it too, Father said. James's life insurance. He has a substantial policy. You're the beneficiary, but if you're gone, Olivia would receive it, I continued. And as her guardians, you would manage it. That's right, Amy laughed coldly. I admit you're smart, but that ends tonight. You were really going to kill me. My voice trembled at the unbelievable reality. Just put you to sleep and make you fall from the mountain, Amy said without emotion. You wouldn't feel any pain. Olivia suddenly spoke up from behind me. I overheard Aunt Amy and Grandpa talking yesterday. All eyes turned to Olivia. They were talking at the bar, Olivia continued with a trembling voice. They said they would push Mom off the mountain and that Dad and Aunt Amy would get married and raise me. Her small body trembled with anger. I'll never forgive you. Don't hurt my mom. Be quiet, Olivia, Mother said harshly. Children shouldn't interfere in adult matters. You're bad people, Olivia shouted. You're not real family. Father stepped forward. Enough. We don't have time. Amy, hurry. Amy approached with the syringe ready. I stood protectively in front of Olivia. The room had only one exit. No way to escape. Even if I called for help from the window, my voice wouldn't reach from this height. There was just one option. I moved quickly as Amy extended her arm. I grabbed the lamp from the bedside table and threw it at her. The lamp hit Amy's shoulder, and she grimaced in pain. Taking that opportunity, I rushed to the wall and pressed the hotel's emergency button hard. A red light flashed, and a piercing alarm sounded throughout the room. What did you? Mother screamed. This is the end, I said with a shaking voice. Your plan, and this false family relationship. There was a knock at the door from the hallway. Security. Is everything all right? Amy quickly hid the syringe in her pocket. Father and Mother looked at each other, panicking. Please come in. I shouted loudly. Help us. The door opened, and two men in uniforms entered the room. What happened? One asked. Hugging Olivia, I said with a trembling voice. These people were trying to kill me. The other security staff looked at Amy. What did you hide in your pocket? Amy stood pale-faced, unable to say anything. Please call the police, I said. I'll explain everything. Outside the window, the first light of dawn had begun to illuminate the mountain ridgeline. The long night was finally coming to an end. 1 year has passed since that night. In a small town in western Massachusetts called Berkshire, Olivia and I had started a new life. Our small bungalow, surrounded by trees, was much more modest than our previous home, but it was full of warmth and security. Above all, there were no false affections or betrayals here. Mom, look, I passed. Olivia showed me her test paper as soon as she returned from school. That's wonderful. I hugged her. How about pizza tonight to celebrate? Olivia's smile had become brighter and more natural than before. Since starting psychological counseling, she had been gradually recovering. She woke up less frequently from frightening dreams at night and had begun to make new friends. The trial was long and painful. With the evidence gathered, Amy, Martha, Thomas, and James were all found guilty. Surprisingly, during the investigation, it was discovered that James had made similar plans in the past. His previous fiancée had nearly died in an accident. He received the heaviest sentence. Amy became mentally unstable and was transferred to a treatment facility within the prison. I heard rumors that mother and father, betrayed by James, were suffering from heavy regret. Amy reportedly continued to refuse visits from her parents. The family bonds built on falsehood had completely collapsed. I changed workplaces and now work as a counselor specializing in family support for patients at a local hospital. I believe that my experience as a nurse and my own trauma could help heal the wounds of others. Linda, will you join us for dinner tomorrow? The Johnsons, who live nearby, called over the garden fence. I'd love to, I answered with a smile. Robert and Margaret Johnson had been kind to us since we moved to this town. In their 70s with no children, they doted on Olivia like a granddaughter. Olivia, I'll bake cookies for you, Margaret said gently. Back at home, Olivia was working on her homework. I stood in the kitchen and began preparing dinner. The setting sun streaming through the window bathed the room in a soft orange glow. Mom, Olivia suddenly said, we're happy, aren't we? I paused and looked at her. Yes, we are. Why do you ask? I sometimes think about it, she said, twirling her pencil. What makes a real family? I sat at the table and took my daughter's hand. It's not blood ties, I said slowly. It's trust and love, caring for each other and protecting one another. Olivia nodded. The Johnsons, the people at the hospital, they're all like our family. Yes, I smiled. We've chosen our own family. That night, after Olivia went to sleep, I went out to the porch and looked up at the starry sky. The Berkshire night sky was filled with stars that couldn't be seen in the city. Though we'd been deeply wounded, we continue to move forward. Even if memories of the past sometimes bring pain, new memories gradually ease that pain. What is a true family? It's not bound by blood or obligation, but by choice and love. In this small town, we found a new family. Our neighbors, colleagues, and most of all in each other. I took a deep breath, filling my lungs with the fresh night air. Tomorrow, another new day begins. Perhaps our story is just truly beginning from here.